All right, so hey everybody, hope you're doing well and welcome to another episode of Mindset Elevation. In this episode, we're going to be looking at negative bias. What is it? Why does it affect us? But also, what can we do to combat it? If you're new here though, I'm John. I'm a life and business coach of THS Life Coaching and hence the t-shirt. Just got these made, I don't know why. But I just wanted to, do a bit more brand awareness. But if you're new to Mindset Elevation, the podcast, what I do is I look at ways that we can hack our mindsets, but in the easiest possible way. But also, if you do like this episode, make sure to subscribe. If you're listening to this on Apple or Spotify, I'd really appreciate following, or if you can comment, that would do us so well to get up to the rankings. But also, I'm on social media at The Hack Share. Let's get into this. But this is on YouTube as well. And if you're watching it on YouTube, thank you. It really does mean a lot. And I'm just trying to start up my YouTube channel again because I've missed it. I want to make these episodes not only for podcast listening, so you can listen to audio only, but I also want to make them video as well. So it gives the listeners/viewers a choice. Okay, so do you find yourself fixated on the negatives? Here we'll be focusing on negative bias, what that means, and how we can acknowledge this, but also deal with it. So we humans naturally give more focus in our minds to things that go wrong than to things that go right. So much so that just one negative event can hijack our minds in ways that can be detrimental to our work, relationships, health, and happiness. Think about it. Have you ever had a day where everything is going so well? Everything seems to be working out for you. You're on a roll. You feel confident. You're having a spring in your step. So then all of a sudden, you hear someone says something out of tune, a minor criticism, a comment is made, and then you find yourself fixated on this for the rest of the day. And then you're wondering why? Why did they say that? What did they mean by this comment? You start asking your mind for answers, and then you start looking for the reasoning behind it so you can find closure so that you can just move on from this negativity and get back to being positive. It doesn't matter about all the positives and that spring in your step now. All that is out the window, and all you can think about is one negative thing. How many of you have experienced this? So I have, and I've had it recently. I remember I was in work and I got stuck on something and I just could not for the life of me figure it out. So I decided to ask a question, and this was not in my recent job, it was in a previous company. Then I got given this backhanded comment, which was not nice. It was kind of negative. It was kind of somewhere along the lines of, well, why don't you know about that? I was actually having a really, really good day. Before that point, I was doing so well in work. I think I booked like 2 or 3 meetings. I was in the process of closing a deal. This comment just ruined all of the positives beforehand. So then what I found was that I was fixated on this comment, and then I was trying to figure out why they would say that. Do they think I'm crap? Do they think I'm stupid? And then that played on my mind, not only for the rest of the day, but also into the evening. And then it had effects on my evening mood. My wife was asking me how my day went. I said, no, it was pretty crap. It was pretty terrible. I couldn't sleep. I was thinking about it. And really, it was just one comment where this person might forget about it tomorrow, or even after 5 minutes of even mentioning it. They might not even know that they have said this to you, or it had such a profound effect on you. But I remember when I was saying that at the end of the day, my day was all right. It wasn't all right. It was actually really, really good. To come to think of it, I was having a really good day. I was booking meetings. I was in the process of closing a deal. If this comment hadn't happened, this probably would have been the best days of my working week or working month. This is how it can affect us. And I'm going to look at ways as to why this might be now and what we can actually do to actually prevent this from taking over our days if this sort of stuff happens. So why are we negative? I'm such a big fan of Very Well Mind. So when I found myself always focusing on the negatives, letting the little things get to me and effectively distract me from productivity, I had to look into this further. So earlier in human history, paying close attention to our world and the danger that surrounds us was a matter of life and death. When we enter our fight or flight response, we ultimately focus on how to survive. And those earlier in human history who paid more attention to the bad things and becoming acutely aware of danger were more likely to survive. So these genetics were more likely to be passed down as our brains evolved to react much more strongly to negative experience than positive ones. And to dwell on the negatives is the brain's way, basically, to try and keep us safe. So if we look at a caveman, for example, and they need to eat, but outside they sense danger, the choice is either go hungry or risk this danger. But how does this impact us? So if we think of the media, for example, we tend to focus more on the negative news, but research has found that we will more likely share the positive news. See, I see this. If I'm looking at the news, the majority of stories are focusing on the bad things in the world. However, if I log into my LinkedIn, my connections are sharing all the good, congratulating others on starting new roles, sharing videos on how a company is now becoming sustainable. I'm seeing more positive news on LinkedIn. So I was trying to figure out why these two are opposites. Generally, in journalism, mass media aims at a mass audience, and the things that affect everyone tend to be negative. So we're all afraid of dying, we're all afraid of being hurt. Focusing on those shared concerns is the easiest way to reach a mass audience. So I see this. About a year ago, I had to change my morning routine because I would wake up, I would immediately grab my phone. And how many of you can relate to this? You grab your phone, you open up the news, you then start scrolling, and all you see is just negative, negative, negative. Everything is putting you in this negative bubble so that you could wake up really fresh, really awake. But then you go to your phone and then you immediately feel like you're not positive. This is crap. I don't feel great. And I just started analyzing it before I even knew what negative bias was. I was looking into this and I thought, this is it. This is the news. Why do I always feel bad when I look at the news? So if this is journalism's way of, it appeals more to the mass market because we're all focused on these negative things, then I try and stay away from it. And my LinkedIn is a great example because I find more positive news on LinkedIn than I do in any other social platform or news channel that I consume. That's kind of my go-to. So what can we do? Acknowledge it, address it head on, and say to yourself that you're not in danger and reason with it. Keep a gratitude journal. Research has shown that keeping a gratitude journal not only keeps us grounded and appreciates the more positive things in life, but it also helps us improve sleep, reduce stress, and provides a good boost in your relationships. Write down the positives once they happen. So many times I've forgotten about all the good things in the day, like the example before. So if I'm fixated on something negative, which has plagued me, and then someone asks how my day is, like before, I might say it's not good, it's okay. It's because I haven't thought about all the amazing things that may have happened before. So by writing it down, all the positives, is a great way to reflect and can provide clarity on the amazing things that you have achieved. Eliminate the negatives. As we know that negativity outweighs the positives in our brains, the trick is not to try and boost up the positives, but more so bring the negatives down to the positive level and try and boost that positive up. So distract yourself from the things that make you feel negative. If you find yourself scrolling through social media, but there's someone that you follow that always tends to put you in a negative bubble, then just stop following that person. I used to have it. Someone that I used to be friends with and I was following on Facebook, for example, every single day shared something so negative, so depressing about this being shit, that being shit. And I found myself focusing on this to the point where I just had enough and I unfollowed that person. What is the point? If something's making us feel so bad, then why are we drawn to it? Why do we keep seeing this stuff? If I see that example where I'm friends with someone on Facebook, but I will unfollow you because I don't want to just, remove you as a friend, for example, because you share stuff that makes me feel crap. But what I will do is I'll unfollow you, keep you as a friend, but I just don't want to see your crap. I want to see stuff that energizes me, gets me positive, puts me in a great frame of mind so that I'm seeing things that inspire me, not keeping me back And that, I think, is the key, is the more that we consume, the more positive things, the things that actually break us out of this negative bubble, analyzing the stuff that makes us feel crap, but focusing more on the positive things that can inspire us and bring out the best in us. That, to me, I think is key. Also, to that person, for example, that gave me that comment, to be honest, they might not have even known that they were saying this. They might have been having a bad day themselves. They might have said something that they didn't mean. Chances are they probably would have forgotten about it 5 minutes after saying it. But by you letting it affect you, it's not helping the situation. You're not finding closure in this. I mean, how many times have you, I don't know, in work, for example, someone said something a little bit negative to you. It's affected you all day. You can't sleep. You moan about it to everybody that you speak with. And then the next day, they're absolutely fine. This is that example. People generally say stuff because it's not in really their nature to, belittle people on purpose. And if that is the case, then just stay away from those people, or you should not be working for those type of companies, because that's bullying. But if people are saying negative comments, then what is the constructive behind it? What can you learn from what they're saying? Can this comment help you improve? Are they saying this, but they don't know ways to communicate to get the best out of you? Because we're all different. We've all got different personality traits. We all communicate differently. We might be more brash without us knowing to someone that that takes things on in a different way. The way that we communicate to others is completely different, but without you knowing that person and truly understanding them, you don't know the motive behind it. But the only thing that you can do is ask. Instead of letting it affect you, ask that person, what did you mean by that? Like, let go of what they're saying. It doesn't matter, really. Can you learn from it? Yes or no? Should it affect you? No. See, I've had it so many times where I've let these comments affect me. It puts me in a negative bubble, and then I cannot stop thinking about this, and it ruins basically all of my day. And then what I've done is the next day revisit that and think, why did I let this affect me so much? Was there any reason? Was there any point to letting this affect me? Chances are it wasn't. It's hard to figure this out when you're in the heat of the moment, because you let all your emotions guide you into a certain way. But if you forward think it as well, what's helped me is, if I'm feeling crap, I would ask myself, if I was tomorrow looking back in this situation right now, what would I say to myself? Would I be worrying at this moment? What good does this get me by feeling this way about this specific comment? Don't let these comments guide how you feel. Try to look at ways to actually break through this negativity and think to yourself, okay, well, if I was in tomorrow and I was looking back on this episode right now, today, should I let this affect me? What can I learn from it? And to be honest, if there's no positive or there's no constructive outcomes, then let it go. See, I hope you found this episode useful. I really do hope that it helps. And if you are looking for life coaching services, or you actually want to learn more about what I do at THS Life Coaching, I'm a mindset and empowerment coach. So my job is to elevate you, elevate your mindset, get you in the best frame of mind, tackle past traumas, tackle past events that are holding you back, so that you can break through it and actually be the best, awesome version of yourself. Cheesy, I know, as it sounds, but that's literally what I do. So I'm an NLP practitioner, and I'm a certified life and business coach. Follow us on social media. We're at The Hack Share. But if wherever you listen to this or you're watching this, I hope you like it. Do let me know. If you can, comment. I want to hear how I can improve these episodes and ultimately produce better content to help you guys. So let me know. And yeah, stay tuned for the next, but take care.